Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. We have episode 10 here of the CFC podcast with none other than Toronto Argonauts defensive lineman Derek Parish. Thank you so much for joining us, Derek.
I appreciate y'all for having me. Thank you.
We'll get right into it with our first question here. What got you into football?
Shoot. Football was like second grade, so maybe sixth. I did a year flag, and then I did Little League football starting third grade. So yeah, about 6, 7. So it's been like pushing 2 decades.
Oh my goodness. You're Rick.
So the next question is, describe your time playing sports growing up to the end of high school.
So growing up, I played like at the YMCA, like soccer, basketball, baseball, kind of doing all those sports. I even did karate for a short period. And then baseball didn't really stick. I was the kid who like played in the pedals in the outfield. So soccer wasn't really, it was fun, but I was goalie. So when, balls played downfield, it was just, I guess it was kind of boring. But played basketball for 2 seasons. That was fun. And then I got into track shortly after I started playing football. So going pretty much through junior high into high school, it was pretty much football and track. And I think at one point track was my main sport. I was a sprinter. I did the 4x1, the 100, and I hated this event. I'm just going to openly say it. The 400, I ran the 400 too. And it was about football and track up until my sophomore year. So I was about 16 because I was like 225, 230. Like I'm getting in the blocks for 100 and people are looking at me crazy.
Yeah.
Like 6'2", 235. It was just, so I put the spikes up and just focused on football for recruiting and stuff.
Absolutely. And it looks like you obviously continued through with that and you'd went to Houston for college. So how was college at Houston?
It was a blast considering I'm from Houston. So, being able to stay home is a huge blessing and just like represent the city. Like I love Houston. Houston's home. But it was a great experience, honestly. Cause I probably stayed 20 minutes from where I grew up in my apartment. But,
oh, wow. So real close.
Just the people you meet, you played with, the networking, just bleeding that red was like, it was a blast. And it was probably an experience I'll never forget, honestly. It was great.
There you go.
It was a grind, but it was great.
There you go.
So the next question is, this is a 2-parter. What's your best college memory? 1 football related, 1 non-football related.
Football related. I'll probably say it was during the COVID season. We were playing USF, and I think they were on our 15-yard line. They were about to score, but bad snap. They snapped the ball to him. It was a bad snap. Certain call. There was a blitz on the other side, and like he gets hit as thrown it, and it like lobs straight into my hands, and I take it to the house for like 85 yards.
Oh my goodness!
And that's like a D lineman's dream catching.
Oh yeah,
yeah, So that happened, and it was like play 8 of the drive. So like I was about to throw up when I got to the sideline. I'll be real, I was tired right there, but that was a blast.
Probably ran faster than you ever had for that. You wanted it so badly.
I think at that time I just got under 20 on the GPS. I think.
Oh yeah.
It was like 19.8 something. So I was like, at that point I was rolling, but off field, I went to the first Astroworld, Travis Scott Astroworld.
Oh yeah.
That was a blast. Not the second one where it got all crazy, but like the first big event he had, it was in Houston. But I got other stories, but I can't say them on a podcast. You know how
that's Well, we don't want to get you into any trouble. And it's funny because actually before we were going live, I think Rick, you were asking about if you had the college football game. You said you didn't. However, you said that you were a big video games guy. What do you like?
Shoot, we're talking like competitive or like story mode?
Anything.
Like
okay. The whole shebang. Here, we'll make that a 2-parter. We'll say the competitive, and then we'll say kind of the story mode.
Okay. Competitive, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Warzone, of course, and I low-key been getting back into Fortnite just when I got the boys on, but yeah, pretty much that rotation. But I'm in my story mode era right now, so I'm rocking out Red Dead Redemption 2 again.
That game is
nice.
such a damn good game. That is such a damn good game. I will say, play all the side missions. They add so much.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm on my second playthrough right now to get.
So you know.
Yeah.
That game is phenomenal. I truly believe that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the greatest story mode video game ever.
I'm with you there. I remember first playing, I was like, this is like a movie. You feel like you were in the game.
Oh yeah, no, you get so invested in all the characters and all that. It's
the dialogue's great.
Very. Yeah. And it's all like motion capture. It's not even just like voice acting. It's all full motion capture, yeah.
See, with me,
The Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah.
The Last of Us 2 is a good one.
For me, I have to go back and play the first one before I play the second one, because if I play the second one first, I won't know what happened in the first one to get to the second one.
Are you talking Red Dead?
No. Yeah, I'm talking about Red Dead.
Red Dead 2 is a prequel.
Okay,
so if you want to play it in chronological order, play the second one first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's okay because, like you said, it's a prequel. It's like Star Wars. Like I'm a big Star Wars nerd.
Here we go. This man is speaking my language.
Word? Okay, let's go.
I am a crazy, crazy Star Wars man. Rick knows this. I have been dragging myself through the new show and feel incredibly, incredibly mixed in terms of there are some episodes I've thought have been okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's getting absolutely trashed online. There's a few episodes that I think are decent, and I think people are being a little too harsh on in the sense of that some of the criticisms they make can also apply to some of the movies that those people would also be propping up. But then there's like 2 episodes that are just absolute nonsense from start to finish.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll probably get into it on the bye week because I like to binge them.
Oh yeah.
I waited long to watch Ashoka to binge it. I had an off day. I spent the whole day watching it.
I have a question. So if you've watched the Ahsoka show, did you watch Clone Wars?
Yes.
Oh hell yes. Okay, here we go.
Dude, I remember Clone Wars as a kid. I remember vivid memories coming home from the grocery store. Every time we went, I would get the big popcorn bucket, slap that thing in a microwave,
Cartoon Network?
and it was on at 8 p.m. every Friday. I was watching it.
Oh,
every Friday I was watching it.
Hell yes.
Ass in a chair.
Hell yes. Actually, here. We didn't have this written down, but this seems like a fun exercise.
Were you gonna show them your Lego sets that you have of Star Wars?
No, they're all over my.
Dude, we're nerding now. You're into Legos too?
He has Star Wars. He has Star Wars Legos.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. Here, we'll get it on here. Here it is. We got it all figured out. We got the collector stuff. We're good.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. I got
Oh, that's hard.
I got the TIE Fighter. I got the Slave One, the Y-Wing, the A-Wing. I got Yoda. I got Baby Yoda. I have the Probe Droid. And it's funny, I have a lot more stuff downstairs, but it's just kind of the stuff I got here. And then I got Optimus Prime, because Optimus Prime's cool.
Falcon.
What do you say?
I want to get the Millennium Falcon, the big one.
Oh, yeah. You see. My buddy actually has it, and I built it with him. It took so long. That thing is ridiculous. It's so big. Awesome. It's massive. Also, just for all the Star Wars nerds out there, ha ha ha.
Whose is that? Ahsoka?
Oh, this is not like a specific person's. This is actually from Ultra Sabers. It was like $200, and it's just kind of one of the hilts they got. It's funny. I had no idea this podcast was going to turn into nerding out about Star Wars.
No, you got my actually coming out.
to go back to the whole thing about you binge watching. So this isn't about Star Wars, but
I have one Star Wars question after you're done, Rick.
Yes. So this goes back to your whole karate thing. Did you ever watch the Karate Kid series growing up?
I did.
So have you watched Cobra Kai?
I haven't finished it.
Oh,
But I've seen the first few seasons.
Let me tell you. So season 6 is the very last season. And they're splitting it up into 5 sections. So 5 episodes per section. And the first section comes out on Friday. So now I just finished watching movies 1 and 2. I have to watch movies 3. Thursday night after the football, I'm binge watching all of 1 to 5 seasons to make sure that I'm up to date for season 6, the first 5 episodes of season 6.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
The good thing about it is, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I like the fact that they bring back like behind the scenes stories of how people get the way that they are.
Yeah, like their previous character development.
No. Like, for example, John Kreese, they go back into like Vietnam and they explain to you how he becomes who he is.
Oh yeah.
And you get like Johnny's backstory and everything. Like, I just love how TV shows do like that whole backstory.
It extends it. I think it extends the lore of it.
Oh yeah.
It like makes you dig deeper.
Absolutely. No, I love that sort of stuff. However, I had one more Star Wars question before we get back to football. And it's funny, I might have more down the line because honestly, okay. I'm having fun with this. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm assuming you've seen all the movies.
Yes.
Spin-offs included.
Yes.
I felt like that was probably obvious, but just figured I'd throw that out there. I was about to say 12. All 11 movies, spin-offs included, were best to worst.
Best to worst? Okay. All right.
And when I say best to worst, I don't mean like what is, I guess, would be considered the best according to the masses. I'm just talking the ones that you enjoy the most. Yeah, just you.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 1, Revenge of the Sith.
Good man.
Number 2, Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Number 3, the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, only because it like
the Clone Wars had so much to it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It really.
Yeah, it's the backbone. Backbone. So that was 4 is Attack of the Clones. 5, Return of the Jedi. Did I already say that?
Yeah. What was your number 3? It cut out.
My number 3. Yeah, my number 3 was Return of the Jedi.
Oh, and there was Return of the Jedi, Attack of the Clones, and then
I'd probably say people might disagree, but Phantom Menace.
I love Phantom Menace. Honestly, I actually prefer Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones personally.
Really? Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because the best parts of Attack of the Clones are better than the best parts of the Phantom Menace. However, I would argue that the worst parts of Attack of the Clones are much worse than the worst parts of Phantom Menace. In terms of the Anakin Padme story is good. The dialogue is a bit of a sit through.
Yeah, I agree with that.
However, we get all the wonderful memes from it, so I can't complain too much.
And then, I'd probably say 6, A New Hope. Actually, no. Yeah, A New Hope, and then Han Solo.
Oh yeah.
I like the actors in Han Solo. And then, what am I missing? Yeah, oh,
Rogue One.
I left out Rogue One.
You can
Some of it was a sit through. Yeah, I might make that. I'm gonna slide that in 4.
You're gonna slide that at 4, and then everything gets bumped down.
Yeah, and then the 8, 7, 8, 9 can go wherever in the back.
Yeah, appropriate list. The sequels should be 11, 10, and 9. And what order? Who cares?
Yeah.
There we go.
I just wish George Lucas would go back and redo it. He said I seen an article saying he wanted to, but
they're not gonna do it as much as I'd love to. I love reading the Legends books and just pretending that didn't exist. Reading Heir of the Empire and then being like, this is
like old canon and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like by Timothy Zahn, all that stuff. Perfect. There we go. Look at that. We spent like 10 minutes talking about Star Wars and movies and shows. And we might get back to it. Honestly, that was great. But I want to get through some of our stuff we have here and some of the questions and whatnot. Getting back to football. My goodness, feels like ages ago. What was it like growing up in Texas, a big football environment?
Shoot. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's like, it's basically, it's two religions out there, God and football. You know what I mean? So it's like, and like Pearland, I'm from Pearland, so it's much bigger now. But like, you know, growing up through the games and stuff, it was like hometown where like people who worked at the grocery store or worked at a shop in the evening would be like closed up, gone to the game. So it's a big deal. Like rivalries, all of that, $1 million stadium. So I'd probably say like it was a big deal. Like I said, it was a form of religion to people. So
absolutely.
And what's interesting, I don't know if you knew this. I want to say vast majority that I've seen CFL players from the States are from Texas.
That's not surprising. Because it's a different type of ball up here. So
yeah. Well, even a lot of the guys we've had on have come from Texas. So
that's what I'm saying. That like
it feels like every time we interview, it's like, all right, well, where in Texas is this one from? You know. There you go.
Okay, so the difference here's kind of an interesting question that I thought of because I'm just curious to see how this works. So, what is the difference between, say, the defensive end position in the CFL and the edge position in the NCAA NFL?
Wait, you can repeat that? I think.
Okay.
What was the first part of your question?
Okay, so there you have the defensive end position in the CFL, and then you have the edge position in the NCAA NFL. What's the difference?
I'd probably say that yard. If anything.
Oh, I see.
Not saying as an excuse or anything, but it definitely challenges you to hone in on your craft a little harder. Because it's like you got a yard off the ball and the quarterback's getting it out at the same time as they are in the NCAA and NFL. If not a little quicker. Because the receivers have a running start. So it's like
every step matters.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'd probably say just really in that aspect. I mean, in the kicking rule, like where you can kick it and then jump over a first down.
Oh yeah.
But I'd probably say, just the yard. I mean, it's tough ball. It's bully ball.
Yeah. Well, no, the only reason I'm asking is because usually, if I'm sitting there watching a draft or anything, I'll see like players' positions as the edge, and I never really knew what they classified down in the stage the edge was.
Oh, yeah.
But up here we have defensive ends.
Yeah, I mean defensive end, edge. It's typically the
same thing.
It just depends how I guess the team lists on their roster.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I see.
But then again, I guess edge could also be like identified as like if you want to go back and like in a 3-4 scheme be out. But I mean that's if you're getting technical. But I think it's pretty much the same thing.
That's fair. It's funny. I actually did have a bit of a follow-up question about that, and it was actually when it comes to playing D-line, are you more of like a rip or swim kind of guy when you're getting past the O-line?
Oh, I'm a rip.
You're
a
rip?
Big rip guy. Like I'm 6'2", like right under 6'2", so and guys I'm going against is like 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. So I'm definitely ripping rather than swimming.
So just wondering, what is it like to take part in the NFL Combine?
So actually, I didn't participate in a combine. I just did my pro day at Houston.
Oh, I see.
So then what's the difference between a NFL Combine and a pro day?
NFL Combine, it's invited, so like there's way more people there.
Yeah, like we do for the CFL.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think it's called U Sports or something like that, I think.
No, we have CFL Combine here just before like the draft, like a couple of weeks before the draft.
Okay, so yes, and then the one at Pro Day is just Houston athletes that played there.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, one would think you'd like that because you have more eyes on you, like, less people, more eyes. So, I
Absolutely.
mean, I feel like it has pros and cons with each of them.
No, that's the people that went to that school, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So just so that you're aware about the whole eyes aspect. So I'm not sure. I think it was TSN, but they actually live stream the CFL combine. So you have all people in the US, you have all people in Canada, and now that we have global players, you have everyone in Europe watching the CFL combine too.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
There you go.
We're global.
But so the next question is, what was it like to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
It was cool being in a pro atmosphere, being around other pro players. It was definitely I mean, it was obviously an honor. It was a dream you worked for since you was a kid, So, but just like being around, like understanding the system, how it works, like it was definitely awesome experience. I definitely, I'm on the road to go back there, so praying for it. So I had a blast. It was fun, but playing fullback was a different story. But
Absolutely.
like from defense to offense. I mean, just because it was a crazy transition. Like,
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So different players will kind of prepare for games in different ways. When it comes to, I guess, your pregame, what is your pregame meal?
pregame meal. So usually it'd be when I was in the States, college in Jacksonville, I would get a omelet. I would get ham, sausage, I think turkey in there too.
Oh yeah.
Spinach if I'm feeling real. Oh no, I would get spinach on game days. I get spinach. Make it seasoned, and then glass of milk and a banana. And then here in the States, it's been Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. It cut out after Tim Hortons, so if you could just repeat that, please.
Tim Hortons, and in Canada, it's been Tim Hortons, banana, and a milk.
There you go. What do you get from Tim Hortons?
The two farmers, the farmers burritos, a wrap, I think.
Yeah,
There you go. That's the stuff.
the farmer sausage egg wraps.
Yeah, with the hash
Yes.
brown in it. Yeah.
It's good, man.
So
Chipotle.
I have a question for you. This isn't to do with pregame meal, but since you brought up Tim Hortons, have you tried those flatbread pizzas yet?
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I've only gotten breakfast there.
I haven't tried.
Okay.
Rick, what is it like? I haven't had it.
So I've tried two.
Uh-huh.
There's the chicken one. I will say do not
Uh-oh.
because the pepperoni one is just kind of like a pizza on a flatbread. It's not too bad, but the chicken one, I'm not here to make anyone gross, but it looks like cat food on flatbread.
Oh man.
Oh,
So
man.
I will just say that's honestly what it tastes like. But the pepperoni one's pretty good. But I mean, for the $8.99, you might as well just go buy a whole pizza.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
So you had played tight end for Jacksonville. What was it like to kind of go between tight end and defensive end?
It was the transition. You definitely have to see the game differently. Like I want to say, I really didn't have a full concept of a route tree going in there, like in terms of it. So like I was just trying to just be a sponge and learn everything I can, and I learned a lot, and it was great.
Absolutely. So what was kind of like maybe your favorite moment or play that you had like as like a tight end?
Any ball I caught,
Any ball you got? That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, any ball I caught, yeah.
Well, at least when you go from tight end to defensive end, at least I guess because up here we don't really use tight ends per se, but at least you see the aspect between like as a defensive end, okay, what's the wide receivers going to do, and then as kind of like as a tight end, okay, you see it from like a receiver's perspective, what's
Yeah.
the opposite other team's defensive end going to do.
Yeah, that was an aspect where it would help in some senses,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's hard to really think about that when you're trying to get a concept of a play.
True.
Absolutely.
Like
Although
you're hearing a long play in a huddle and you got 10 seconds to break it down, what you got to do. Like, so
Yep.
just getting past that was, I mean, I'm sure up here receivers feel like.
That's fair. That's fair. Although it's interesting because Rick, when you're asking that, you mentioned kind of about how, like, in the CFL we don't really use tight ends. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, but Milanovic has been doing this with Hamilton. I'm sure, Derek, you've probably seen this because I mean you're watching film on Hamilton right now. So I find it kind of funny we're talking about this right now, considering that this is probably exactly what you're preparing for going into this coming game.
No, exactly. They got tight ends in their game plan, so we're definitely prepping for it.
No, but what I was saying about that, Carter, is like if you look on like actual teams' rosters, like you don't see any team list tight ends.
No, it was one of those things where even though they don't list it, I was just thinking about how Hamilton kind of does it, even though they won't kind of officially list someone as a tight end, and that would actually affect his very next game.
No, we more list them. Like I don't know if we. It's more of like fullback. Like
you guys don't call them tight ends. You guys are liars.
No, we more list them as. No, we more list them on the roster as like a fullback than we do as a tight end.
Right. Okay.
That's fair.
But the next question is: describe your journey to the CFL for the first time after being with the Jags.
Definitely a different type of ball. Like, I mean, I feel like there's less rules in the CFL, so I feel like the CFL is a little bit more grungy and dirty when you get down to it, which I love because, like, I mean, I grew up playing tackle in the car, like in the street and stuff. So, like a lot of guys still hold that aspect to them in their game out here, and it makes you play harder.
I feel like you got to learn to love it though. If you're playing anywhere on the line, you know what I mean. You're right in the trenches. You're right in the thick of it. You gotta kind of get used to that.
Yeah. I mean, yard or not, it's still a dirty game in there.
Yep.
But I would say just the rules. Like some of the rules were a little like I'd be in the game asking coaches like, what does this mean if this happens? Like that rule where you could kick it past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So what was the rule that kind of like kind of screwed with you the most, where it was like, wait, they do what here?
Yeah, like where they kick the ball past the line of scrimmage and then they recover it for a first.
The onside.
The famous punt. Montreal kick.
Yes, the Alouette special.
So yeah, like it was like late in the drive.
Jeez.
It was third. I think it was second and long. It was late in the drive. You know, like everybody's gassed. We're trying to get off the field, and then they do that into first.
Yeah, it's a weird play.
I was thrown off by that for a second,
but just a follow-up question to go off your first journey up here. What did you think of going from smaller fields to bigger fields, like wider fields like in the CFL, size, and then going from like 4 downs to 3 downs?
The field width, you really don't notice it in the game, to be honest. Like you don't get on the field warming up and like, dang, this is a wide field. You kind of get adjusted playing with it, but the down gets taken away, only 3 downs was kind of a trip at first, because I was on punt, and then as soon as we got off the field in a preseason game, sat down looking at the iPad going over the drive. A play later, it's punt alert. They were like, every time he gets second down, they're calling for punt. It's like, dang, I just sat down. So, you get the swing of things to the first one.
There you go. Bit more emphasis, maybe, possibly on the special teams for that.
Yeah.
So, being your first year in the CFL, and it's been 6 weeks, what has been the best memory so far in the CFL through 6 weeks?
Honestly, just the opportunity to play football. Like, just being able to play football and continue my pro career is just a blessing in its own. And, like, just, being out in a new city in another country, like playing football in another country, I think that's an experience.
Had you ever been to Canada before playing in the CFL, or?
This is farthest I've been north.
I see. So outside
Like, in North
Toronto,
America.
what's kind of your favorite place you've been in Canada? Outside Toronto.
Montreal. Montreal is a cool city.
Yeah, I've heard it's beautiful.
But like anywhere like scenery, I haven't been anywhere scenery yet.
That's fair. Well, you'll have time at some point.
Yeah, I think bye week or something. I hear there's like crazy views, like beautiful like landscapes out here.
Oh, there you go. So our next one here, this is actually a question from fans. So this is from Suve Connor on X. What is the best part about playing for the Toronto Argonauts? This is actually from an Argos fan.
The culture and the powder blues, because it's my favorite color.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I will say though, as a Ticat fan, I think your whites are better than your baby blues when it comes to the jerseys.
I gotta disagree, bro. The powder blues are just the powder blues are icy.
I mean, it
reminds me of like the Houston Oilers blue.
Oh yeah, because you're from Houston, of course, so you'd love that.
Baby.
There you go.
So the next question is, are there any CFL or NFL linemen past or present that you admire or draw inspiration from in your career?
I'd probably say TJ Watt, Frank Gore. I watched tape on the Bosa brothers. Khalil Mack for sure. Aaron Donald. I like Chris Jones's tape too.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I try to model like my game after like in terms of like players who kind of like closer to my size. You know, like study how they play, what they do, things like that. But honestly, growing up, it was Brian Cushing and Patrick Willis.
There you go.
Patrick Willis.
Good answer. So one question I actually did have is, how would you describe your relationship with Coach Dinwiddie?
I think relationship's great. I think I love that, like I said, the culture there, like all the coaches are players' coaches.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like it doesn't really feel like boss and employee.
Yeah,
it feels good. Like player coach all working towards the same thing. So like just that mindset within the walls in general, like kind of, you know, builds a relationship and builds trust towards each other. So that's something I come to appreciate.
Absolutely. And that's kind of something that we've heard from some players before in terms of being really, really important about having that relationship with their coaches, just in the sense of that coach would never ask me to do something that they wouldn't do themselves, in the sense of if they're asking me to get right in the thick of it, that's because they do the same thing. And so I feel like that's really, really important in really kind of building that culture. So I definitely agree with you there on that. And so kind of, I guess, leading off of that, who would you say is the best locker room leader?
Probably Win.
Oh yeah.
Win, McMahon. Yeah.
Nothing.
Being a D lineman, like having linebackers behind you, like so big JJ and all them, like having linebackers behind you could trust, like it makes the bond tighter when you on the field and, you know, bullets are flying and stuff. So
absolutely.
Can't forget his toothpick.
Yep. Hey, even in the game.
Oh, I seen his one TSN story, how he sat down with Matt Chinetti explaining the whole toothpick.
But he didn't explain to me, so I
no, how it like time, like he comes off the field, he has a toothpick. He goes somewhere, he always has unless he's playing, he always has a toothpick in his mouth.
I swear he got him in his practice pants, game pants or something. He's on the ground or something, he gonna pull out another one. He got it on the sideline. But no, that's awesome.
The team's mob boss with the toothpick sticking out.
That's funny.
So I have a bit of a side question for you. So in Houston, because I'm not from the States, in Houston, who was your guys' rival back in when you played for Houston?
Sure, we had a few of them, or at least I
Like
did. I had
like your top rival. Like if you had to name like a top rival.
Well, hell, he can name a few if he wants.
conference
Go for it.
wise. Conference wise, definitely Cincy for sure.
Okay. The only reason why I'm asking is because has anyone on your team explained to you the big rivalry between Hamilton and Toronto? Oh,
Everyone just says it's a rival.
oh. So this rivalry, I kid you not, goes back, I want to say at least to the early 1900s.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
So
like 100 years old.
this rivalry, I want to say, if I were to describe it, Carter, correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. You would explain it to like a Maple Leafs Habs rivalry, would you not? If you had to explain it.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's kind of it is similar in that regard, in the sense of that there's kind of two big rivalries, like two big rivalries in the CFL, and this is one of them.
Okay, so it's written in stone.
Oh,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
written in stone, and
Back in the day,
let me
to
tell
me,
you.
the two big ones are Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, and Toronto, Hamilton. Those are the two big ones. Well, and
Okay.
Calgary, Edmonton. So I guess there's three, because I can't discount the Battle of Alberta.
But when you come to Hamilton, just prepare yourself. Our fans are ruthless. They will tell you where to go, and and as fans and season ticket holder myself, win, lose or draw, they will be behind you when you're down, when you're winning, they have your back. But let me tell you, they will be 100% honest with you, regardless if you want to hear it or not. But I'm just telling you, when you come into Toronto or when you come into Hamilton on Saturday, just be prepared for those fans to be barking at you from the stands.
Oh, dude, that ain't nothing. So like I said, we played Big 12 teams. Like we had a rivalry with Tech. That tortillas where they throw tortillas at you, come out the tunnel. That's real.
Oh, oh
And
no, we're not like that. We're not like that. But
Maybe not
like
that crazy.
some of the
you at one of the whiteout games early in my career there, and their student section was right behind our bench.
Oh my god.
So like, I mean, you hear some absurd stuff. So I mean, it'll be something I've probably heard before.
Oh no, but like I was just curious, like because you're with you being a rookie in the CFL this year, I was just curious to know if anyone has explained to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, they all said like it's a like there's a couple guys that I know on Hamilton actually. They said it gets pretty muddy out there.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
like there was, I think it was it last year, or the year before that, we had played. Toronto and Hamilton had played either 3 times in 4 weeks or 4 in 5 weeks.
It was last year. That was crazy. I don't know. Who
Like
made
it
the
was
schedule,
something ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
But,
crazy either way.
I was about to say, people like you would watch your own film and then you watch the other team's film and it's the same game.
It's like we don't even need to watch game film. We already know what they're like.
Yeah,
No, seriously. Like we played all the teams like 3 times.
there you go. Yeah. So, just wondering here, kind of getting back to, I guess, kind of some questions about kind of that locker room. Who would you say is kind of maybe the funny guy? Who's the best locker room character?
There's a bunch of them. Everybody's got their own personality and what they bring.
Okay, we'll make it easier for you. We'll let you name a few more.
It doesn't have to be just one.
No.
Like I said, Win's funny. Win is Win. Jake's pretty funny. Jake's Rosna. A few young cats. And some receivers get funny too. I mean, like I said, everybody it's like one big family in the locker room. So it's like
That's perfect.
everybody's got their own crack of jokes.
That's exactly how you want it.
Now, weather conditions can play a significant impact on plays. What's the most challenging weather that you've played in, and how did you adapt? And what is your favorite weather to play in?
Oh, man. Other than snow, I pretty much played in all. Like, I played in heavy rain. I played in heavy heat. I haven't played in a game under like 35 degrees. Like, and I thought that was like cold. They had heated seats and all of that, but I mean, I played in like 109, 110 before,
Oh wow.
Oh my
but
goodness.
I mean, but even when it rains, it don't matter to me. I don't even wear gloves.
But
It's
you haven't played in snow yet.
it's funny
Uh-uh.
because you're saying this, and I'm literally searching up Celsius to Fahrenheit on my phone so I can understand what you're saying. Because you
But
said it was like 30. You said 30. Like, what was the
it's
lowest you've
funny.
played? Like, in terms of
Oh, 38 degrees Fahrenheit.
38. Oh, brother, that's 3 degrees
Nothing,
Celsius.
right? That's what
It's it.
every
Okay.
I'm
time I
gonna tell
say
you right
that.
now, snow is a whole different ball game. Because
So
I even
Carter,
remember. Yeah,
you still have your phone, right?
yeah, I do. Yeah,
Look up minus 30 degrees Celsius and tell me what it is in Fahrenheit.
that is negative 22 Fahrenheit.
Okay,
Oh,
so
geez.
so Derek, just picture this. 2 Grey Cups ago, it was in Regina, and it was what he just said. That's what it was without the wind chill.
Without wind chill, and wind chill it makes it is the worst, arguably, of it. So
So is wind chill like humidity for the heat? It just makes it
Yeah,
worse.
yeah,
but it's for the cold.
it's for the cold. Yeah, it really it like on like your hands and stuff like that. That's where it's just kind of ruthless. Because I even remember because I played offensive line in high school, and I was a center, so I'd have to snap, and I can't wear a glove when I snap, so I had to kind of go bare hand. And so I remember we had a game. It was about minus 30 in the snow. Guys are literally like shaking on the sidelines.
Oh
Then
my
the second the
gosh.
ball is snapped, which it was hard enough to even to keep like snap right and keep it in my hand and all that because it was just so slippery. Uh, it was one of those things where kind of the game plan for the O line and D line, at least for us, was kind of out the window because guys were just falling all over the place, slipping on the snow and ice, and it was
That's
it was
crazy.
something. So I think it'll definitely be a bit of an experience that you won't forget when you finally get to play in some snow later in the year.
That's what I'm
Now,
saying.
now keep in mind where Carter is in Winnipeg. They have to have these things on their cards that are called heater boxes.
Yeah, we need
We don't
block
have,
heaters. If you do not have a block heater in your car, there is a pretty high chance you cannot start your car because it needs to
but
keep
that
the engine warm.
Block here.
Otherwise, it'll like freeze up, and then your car's not moving anywhere.
but then in Ontario, we don't even need that. Like our car will start.
Yeah, no, Winnipeg gets
It's
stupid
just that
cold.
yeah,
This is where I live.
as far west you go, the colder it gets.
Okay.
Oh, and just be mindful in Alberta, it's just a whole different story because they've had snow during summer this year. They've had
Yeah,
snow in
that confused me.
October.
It's funny. We'll get snow
Crazy.
going late some years, but I don't even understand what the hell's going on in Alberta this year. It was
It's crazy.
crazy though, because I don't know if you're aware, but so the 2020 season was canceled for the CFL. The 2021 season does happen, but because of kind of the second wave of the pandemic happening, the season gets pushed back and it starts late. I remember being at the West Final, just I'm a Bomber fan in Winnipeg, in December, which is just I have never been to such a cold football game in my entire life. It was
Dude,
just it was something. So I think it'll be very interesting when you finally get to experience that. Might need to ask you what you think of it afterwards.
no, definitely. 'Cause like I said, I got to get my mind right for
There you
that.
go.
So this kind of has a two-part to it. So what's your favorite stadium to play in so far in the CFL and outside of the CFL?
I'd probably say in the CFL so far, Sask. They had a really cool looking stadium.
Mosaic Stadium is
But
beautiful.
I love BMO. I love ours because it's grass. Uh, in the state, I'd probably say
Like
I
even
played
if
at. I mean, I played at. I love NRG because it's the Texan stadium. But really, any field of grass. I'm not picky about the stadium.
oh you don't like turf.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't mind playing on it. We had turf at Houston, but like, I don't know. I feel like the game is cleaner on grass.
that's fair. So one question I actually do have is a little bit of a piggyback off of that before we get into our next one is, have you had the opportunity to play in BC yet? The reason why I'm asking is because we had AJ Allen on last week, and he was talking about how he absolutely despises the turf at BC Place, and was talking about how he actually compared it to AstroTurf in terms of the feel and how slippery it was. So have you had that opportunity yet or no?
No, we haven't played BC at their spot yet.
I see. So I might need to get back to you after you guys do play them to see if maybe that is a common sentiment, or maybe that's just how AJ feels.
So, Carter, just to answer your question, they don't play there till September 13th and week 15.
Brother, schedule just pulled up. So besides, we had kind of talked a little bit earlier about some of the, about kind of your pregame, and you had talked about what you got for food. Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions that you swear by that are kind of besides that?
No, I used to growing up, but a few years in college, I seen this video and it just convinced me like all superstitions is fear manifested in its own way. So I just was like, F it, threw everything out. I just stuck to I just created a routine and threw all the rituals out, which, I mean, it's not really a ritual. Upbeat music and then like throw on some like R&B rap come close to game time. Yeah.
So less of necessarily like a ritual and a superstition, and more of just making sure you're prepared come game time.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, Derek, I had a question for you. So since this is kind of going back to your early days, so after you got released by Jags, how did you find out about the CFL?
John Murphy, our GM, actually lives in Pearland.
Oh.
And I guess he was been following me from high school, so reached out to me, got in touch with my agent, and got it locked in, pretty much.
There you go.
Pretty short and simple.
Oh, that's nice.
So if I'm not mistaken, university students can't have agents. They're called student or school advisors, are they not?
Well, I don't know how it is now with the NIL. Like, I think there's like marketing agents and stuff, but like an agent for the draft, no, you have to wait till you graduate.
Oh, okay. I see.
Or till your eligibility is completed, I should say.
Okay, fair enough.
I see.
I've always wanted to know how that worked.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, when it comes to kind of, I guess, kind of the next generation, is what advice would you give to aspiring D-line players looking to make it to the professional level?
Perseverance, grit, discipline is a big one.
Absolutely.
And I would say just, keep chasing your dream, man. Like, put in so many hours for, say you have 15 games, 15 opportunities. College season is 12 games, 12 opportunities. You spend a whole year for those games. So, I mean, just like I would say, soak that in and make the most out of those 12 opportunities.
Absolutely.
So my question to you that I just thought of is, because you guys don't have this down in the States, what's your thought on the whole waggle up here in Canada?
The waggle, it's like the one that sends a receiver, right?
Yep.
Yeah, where they can like come up to the line and then they come back and then.
Yeah. I mean, it's not called the waggle in the States, but every quarterback has their own little like rundown of how they.
Yeah.
Like, but there's no there's no definite signal like it is up here. Like, he's basically like, all right, we're about to go. So you could time up the snap a little bit better, but.
See, I would always be nervous. Like if say like Carter was gonna go do the waggle, like I'd be nervous to like go offside because you think like he's gonna come up to
draw you, yeah.
Yeah, because you think like they're gonna come up to the offensive line and then you're ready to snap and then he moves back and then he goes to like.
I mean, we're taught to just keep the ball, so we try to not let any outside noise come in there.
I also wonder because like it's one of those things where when you see guys doing that, are you able to even like kind of like pick up on the footwork where he's like, he's not actually running this time. He's just about to back up. Like,
That comes with preparation, like understanding his movements.
Yeah.
If you can tell when it's
because you were a soccer goalie, so that's where I was like, soccer goalies. The whole precedent is that you're predicting based on the footwork. So I'm thinking if anyone knows
I was
that,
like 3 or 4 though. There, I was young. I was like
fair
3,
enough.
4, 5.
See, I wasn't sure.
I was a kid running around.
Derek at like 3 or 4. It's like, where's his foot going? Where is it going?
Yeah, I was ball chasing crazy.
Yeah, he was 3 or 4, but he was in the zone.
So this is kind of goes back to your video game days, and I've always wondered this. So if you go and play online, like say you're going to play Call of Duty or something, you're playing with a bunch of randoms. Obviously, people up here wouldn't know who you were, but down in the States, if you're a popular person, wouldn't you be nervous? Be like, oh, everyone, we're playing with so and so. Like, would you not get nervous that you would get recognized?
No, because like my gamer tag has nothing to do with my name or like who I am as a football player. So like even when I play randoms, like I never say my name, and like there's so many people in the world on video games. Like I don't think they could recognize my voice.
That's fair. It also depends on how much kind of overlap, in the sense of there's probably a lot of guys that are into football that love playing video games, and then there's probably some that just literally have no interest. So it really.
Right.
It also depends on kind of the overlap of audience. You had kind of mentioned that that recently you've been playing some story mode games. Have you ever got into Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I started from the OG one.
Oh yeah,
I loved it all the way to. I played a little bit of Black, all the way up to a little bit of Black Flag. But it got repetitive to me in that sense.
That's fair.
Like just because like the historical timeline was cool and like the lore, but. I mean, the gameplay was kind of repetitive, in my opinion.
Yeah. I will say it does change quite a bit kind of after Black Flag, in the sense of there's a few games where it really starts to feel a little bit less like an assassin game and more like a warrior game, in the sense of where there's kind of less missions requiring like stealth, which was like a big thing in some of the earlier games, especially like the Ezio trilogy in Assassin's Creed. I would say when it comes to the newer ones, would really recommend Assassin's Creed Origins, the ancient Egypt one. That one's probably the best one of the new ones. I also really liked Assassin's Creed Mirage, which takes place in Iraq. The only thing about AC Mirage is that it is kind of a short game, comparatively.
Okay.
And so just kind of some recommendations there.
I'm gonna check Origins out then for sure.
Yeah. And the lore in that game's a lot of fun, and it's got a really good protagonist too, so it really helps.
Okay, cool.
The maps are ridiculously huge.
So GTA 6.
Oh my goodness, man, that's gonna be crazy. Because I remember even the first time I played Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was like, I've never seen a game this beautiful. Like visually, this is ridiculous. And so then
it's insane.
Like GTA 5 has always also just been a massive game, and it's been out for so long. And I saw that trailer for GTA 6 and the way it looked, and I'm thinking, this game is going to be one of the top 5 best-selling games of all time when this thing comes out. Like that is ridiculous.
The only things that I don't like about games like that is money grabs, like how much of a money grab it is, like with just like all the online transactions and stuff like that. Oh, you want to have a better car and better than everyone else, you got to go fork out all this money to get all these.
I mean, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't fall short to some of that stuff. Like not like pay to win, but like, I want my character to look cool. So
no, I get that, but I mean, you see people spending like a couple of hundreds and hundreds.
See, I get that, although I will say that is their problem, in the sense of that.
No. Yeah, like Fortnite did everybody dirty.
Oh my goodness!
I wasn't personally spending money on Fortnite, but like, I know a couple friends growing up like that got on Fortnite and spent like.
Well, and they got everything on Fortnite. Didn't they literally just import Guitar Hero basically into that game? Like.
Yeah, basically.
I saw that and I was.
And like, Rocket League's a part of them now too.
They have WWE coming to Fortnite coming. Or no, sorry, it's Call of Duty. I think it is. But anyways, going back to Fortnite. I just find it's ridiculous because of all the esports and everything that they have nowadays, parents are paying for lessons for the kids to get trained by pros in Fortnite.
Are you
Like
serious?
that's how bad video games are.
I haven't heard of this.
Oh yeah, it's out there.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
Like
Oh my
there's
God.
people that are on Five. I don't know if you guys have heard of Fiverr, but there's people on there that you pay
I've
them
heard of
money
it.
and they will teach you how to play,
That's
like become a
crazy.
pro.
See,
That's why I'm saying like all these cash transactions are making video games
that's ridiculous.
like to a certain extent.
I see that for sure. Definitely takes like competitive gaming to a different level.
Yeah. Well, now there's like in the past few years, now there's whole esports leagues and people make a living doing this.
Yeah,
and it's such an interesting phenomenon that like kind of growing up I really did not expect. And now it's a thing.
Okay, Derek, without unleashing your gamer tag, are you a PlayStation or an Xbox person?
Or
Xbox, baby.
Oh,
although I will say I've been becoming more. I do play on PlayStation, although I have been playing a decent. Like I've been getting more. At some point I know I'm gonna probably fully switch over to like Steam and like computer.
yeah.
I've been thinking about building a PC.
It's funny. I would love to build like once eventually I move out, I'll probably build myself a PC. I just up until then, we'll just have my laptop that's falling apart. That almost wasn't able to start the interview today.
Trust me, once you play Red Dead Redemption 2 on a PC with a like top of the line graphics card, Carter, you haven't seen with the snow and everything. My lord, you haven't seen like the grass is just like you're actually like right beside it, like you're ready to touch the grass. That's
in beautiful 4K. Lenny, where are you, you bastard? Lenny, my boy. Everyone, it's funny because I don't need to say anything besides that. He knows exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Oh my god, I'm sorry. That is one of my favorite scenes from any sort of video game. It's just pure effing nonsense, and I love every second of it. Are you able to hear me now?
Oh, there you go. Now you're back. You're back to normal. You're like,
yeah. No, I was just. Yeah, I know. I was
you.
just saying that I love that scene because it's
your face was frozen for a second. You're like
nonsense, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so we have a question from Sauve Carter on X, another season ticket holder from Toronto. He says, "How do you feel about loyal Argo fans?"
I love them. I love any loyal fans. Because I've been around disloyal fans and loyal fans. There's fans who show up at the practices. We was in the storm and rain, and there was a Argos fan that pulled up. The same guy. He had an umbrella. So I got respect to the loyal fans.
There you go.
Oh, there was a time was it last week? When I was on holidays a couple weeks ago, I tried to go to every Ticat game. Or sorry, every Ticat practice that week. Because I do Ticat content for my YouTube channel. And I come home and my parents like, "Are you trying to get like dark?" My legs were like so tanned. My arms were so tanned. Just because I'm sitting there for that hour and a half each day's practice in the sun, no sunscreen. I'm like, I'm white. I need to tan. I need to work on my farmer's tan.
I feel that. I need to get a tan too.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's pretty much all we got, Rick. Is there anything else that we have? Is there anything else that you got there?
Was there Derek, anything that you wanted to promote as on behalf?
Just kind of
as
a
team?
Good outro.
Feed the family merchandise.
There.
Feed the family merchandise. Feed the family.
Feed the family merchandise. So the next thing that I will mention, this I'm gonna promote two things for two Argo fans. For those fans who want to reach out to Ginger Argo 17 on X, he is selling CFL fights for cancer patches. They are $5 if you want. He's going this fan, let me tell you, Derek, this guy has been going to every Argo fan home and away games this year. So I'm sure if you see him, he'll be wearing like a Scottish kilt with like Ginger Argo on the back of his jersey.
I have to look for him.
Yeah. But yeah, anyone that's watching this video, go out, and if you want to buy one of them, they're like $5. They just say CFL fans fight for cancer. Also, for those fans, I mentioned to Derek before we started this interview. If you go to @SauveConnor on X, he's doing a 65-kilometer walk fundraiser for CFL Fights Cancer. If you find him on X, his pinned comment, there's a link for the CFL Fights Cancer for anyone that wants to donate. If not, we will be doing videos for him while he walks from BMO Field to Tim Hortons Field. But yeah, and I'm going to be walking from Burlington to Hamilton while he walks. So I will be enjoying the last leg.
There you go.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Derek, for coming on. We appreciate you being willing to give your time, and I'm glad that you're able to get the housing situation figured out, so that we were able to do this, and that you obviously have a place to stay, as that's more important than all of this. So glad to hear that you're able to get that all solved. So, so just kind of glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And just because we're friends now talking doesn't mean come Saturday we're gonna be some worse enemies.
Yeah. You keep your cool, Rick. All right, you keep your cool. All right. Well,
trust me, I'm on the players. I'm on the Ticat player side where we come out. So they've heard some stories that I will not mention on camera, but there's some videos out there in the atmosphere of some things that I've said to coaches over the years. But we will leave that for another time.
He's a loud man. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you guys leave a like, share the video around, give it a subscribe, hit the little notification bell, helps out a ton. If you're watching this or I guess listening to this on Spotify, make sure you give us 5 stars. Helps out the channel a ton. And I could tell Rick wants to say something before I end this off.
I was just gonna ask, when is this gonna be up on the channel so that people know when to go and watch this?
This will be coming up tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, July 17th at noon Central. That would be 1 p.m. Eastern, so out in Toronto and whatnot. At least it should be roughly around that time. I'll release it right at then if I'm able to. So that is when that will be available. And yes, peace, love, and positivity. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.